Call or text now. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Call us or send us a text on the WNSR text line. 615-844-5600. 615-844-5600. Call or text. Same number.
Alrighty then.
Now, the Mcfarland Show with Darren and Justin.
And a wonderful Wednesday afternoon to you, and welcome into the Mcfarland Show, Sports Radio 560 WNSR. This is the voice of Justin Mcfarland. Thrilled to be here with you on this warm Wednesday afternoon. The first day of summer officially is here, and the temperatures don't show it quite yet. But if it's not warm enough for you, just wait. I promise you, Tennessee in June has never let us down. I promise you, the 90s are upon us. Just wait. It's not today, but the 90s are upon us. I assure you. All right. So while you wait for the 90s, you can give us a call at 615-844-5600. You can also text us at that same line, 615-844-5600. We are broadcasting live from the Strike and Spare Family Studios here at WNSR. Of course, we are watching the action in Omaha. The Tennessee Volunteers are not part of it. They are done after last night's game against LSU. And we're going to get deeper into that. We can tell you that Florida is leading TCU right now 2-1. That game is in the top half of the fourth inning there in Omaha. So we'll see what happens with that game throughout the afternoon. As this is what's cool about the College World Series this time of the day for us. The game kind of hangs out with us while we do the show. And that's kind of cool. You know, so we're watching it, but we're not deep into it, but we've got an eye on it. And so it hangs out with us here during the course of the afternoon. Too bad the Vols cannot do the same. The Vols are done after their loss last night to LSU. 5-0. 5-0. 5-0 last night to the LSU Tigers. All right, so to talk more about that, we're going to bring in today's special guest. Of course, yesterday we had the future of sports broadcasting on our program with us with Alec and Jonah, and we appreciate their time. Today, we're bringing in what I'm calling the young professional of our business here because the other two gentlemen, they're still learning a little bit. They're still in college and stuff. They're doing stuff. Our next guest is not that. Our next guest here is the real deal. Our next guest has already produced several hours of sports radio already today and is doing us a favor by stepping over with us. This is Patton Cook, everybody, and he is joining us here on the Mcfarland Show for the very first time as a fill-in host. Thank you, sir.
Well, geez, Justin, if I ever get inducted in any sort of Hall of Fame, I mean, you're tagging along with me. That's a heck of an introduction. I don't know if I deserve it necessarily, but I appreciate it. It is one. I want to thank you for letting me be here. I listen to you and the Mcfarlands both every single day, pretty much when I'm not working. I appreciate you having me on, Justin.
It's not a problem. And one thing I should mention, as we're 7 minutes, or really, I guess 4 minutes into the show, Darren Mcfarland is not here. I didn't say that. I skipped over that. I got into the college baseball game, I guess. Darren's not here today. Darren's in Omaha. Nebraska, enjoying some of this College World Series. He's out there with his youth group as well and enjoying the time out there. So we appreciate him. Darren out there in Omaha for the College World Series, and we look forward to a full report from him when he gets back. So Darren is away, so you only have one Mcfarland today, but we do have Patton Cook here with us as well. We're taking you through the next couple of hours here on Sports Radio 560 WNSR, 615-844-5600. That's 615-844-5600. So, Patton, let's get into it. The biggest story right now in the state of Tennessee, in regards to sports anyway, is the Tennessee Volunteers, and unfortunately, they'll finish fifth, I guess, the way you look at it. They'll finish fifth in this year's college baseball tournament. What did you make of the Vols' finish last night against LSU?
Certainly disappointing the way the season ended. Not to get any runs, and really two left-handers for LSU. One, at least the starter, didn't have a whole lot of success this season. Definitely disappointed not to get some runs across the board. You had the opportunity, certainly had a couple bases loaded situations, but the hits that they got kind of late down the stretch, Justin, the late clutch hitting, they just didn't get it yesterday.
No, didn't get it.
Didn't get it at all. And that's how kind of college baseball works, especially when you lose game one. Of course, losing to LSU about a week or so ago, lose that first game, you got to be perfect throughout. And last night, they were not perfect, and they are home with Vanderbilt.
They're done. LSU beat them 4 out of 5 this year.
Yeah.
4 out of 5. I think that's going to sit with them this summer and fall as they think about it. You know, I think next year, if they get to see LSU again, I believe it may be turned up a couple of notches if they see the Tigers again. I was very surprised they weren't able to get a run across. This team has been very productive offensively all year, and I thought they would be a lot closer than what they were able to get last night. They just kind of ran out of gas, and the body language, as Darren talked about, actually, their confidence. This is a team that thrives on confidence. And once the confidence was gone, there was nowhere to pull them out of the ditch last night. It just, and LSU gave them a couple of opportunities, but they couldn't get that punch through that you were talking about, especially in that 7th inning when we thought they were going to finally kind of get on the board, and it just didn't happen for them.
And really for LSU, it was capped off kind of how it has been all year. Dylan Cruz with the 2-run shot that moved it from 3 to 5 and effectively killed all hope. But I mean, it's no, I don't know. For Tennessee, do you like losing to LSU in any sport? Absolutely not. But
No.
This LSU team, really coming into College World Series, maybe not right now. They got to beat Wake Forest twice to advance onto the championship. I mean, it's one of the best teams ever constructed in college baseball. The hitting, the pitching, and for Tennessee's Drew Beam last night, he did his job. I was really happy for him. The local kid came in.
Well, they have a lot of local kids.
They
but
sure
okay.
do. The local kid came in and pitched what he needed to. But like we've talked about, the hitting was never there, and that's just not something we've been accustomed to saying for Tennessee past 2 or 3 years, because hitting-wise, they've been as good as anybody.
So here's where I'm conflicted on Tennessee. Now that the season is over, and I'm looking forward to people's calls on this, and Vol fans out there, you know who you are. Don't be bashful today. I'm not here to cause you any grief. Are you happy with the year? I'm not talking about the results last night. We know what happened last night. Obviously, that's disappointing. Are you satisfied with this year? Would you call this year a success? Or is it now to the point where it's only a success if you win the whole thing or get, within the final game of winning the whole thing? And that's what, honestly, I don't know. I'm very conflicted about it. I can see it both ways. I can see where this would be disappointing. I can also see where, 99% of the teams in college baseball don't get to the stage Tennessee got to last night. And how can you call that a failure in any way, shape, or form? So are you happy, Vol fans out there? 615-845-5600. I really am looking forward to this. 615-844-5600. Vol fans out there, are you satisfied? Is it disappointing? Are you mad? Are you sad? Are you happy? Are you okay? How are you coping? Patton, what do you think?
Yeah.
Success or failure for Tennessee?
Well, I want to caveat it. I'm a Vanderbilt fan, so there aren't a whole lot of blood or orange in my blood, to be quite frank. But I will say this for Tennessee. Of course, making the College World Series 2 years ago, I think that knocked a lot of maybe some of the novelty about it. You're in Omaha for the first time in a while. Of course, you win a game this season, something you didn't do 2 years ago. I think this time around, though, it's all well and good making it that first time, but once you make it that second time, and it's some expectations are here around Tennessee baseball, where you really haven't been in quite a long time. I think you're a little disappointed with how it's ended. I get middle of the season, you weren't really sure if you were going to make the NCAA tournament, much less making it to Omaha and getting 2 series on the road, winning both of those. So I think there's a little bit of disappointment, but I think you look at the team that you were kind of stacked up against. LSU, 1, you face Paul Skeens, and 2, you face a bullpen that's been kind of off and on for LSU. But the hitting that they've shown all year long, there's got to feel some, man, I wish we would have played another team than LSU twice, and that's really what sent you home.
Yeah, and you can't help who you get in the draw there. It's just whoever you get. I'm going to look at it this way here with Tennessee. And, I'm going to zoom all the way out and look at the 30,000-foot picture, not for just Tennessee, but Tennessee athletics. I'm going to take it from this standpoint. Tennessee athletics has probably had one of the most successful seasons they've ever had in a very long time. When you combined the men's basketball program, the women's basketball program, the men's, the baseball team, obviously, even the softball team, women's softball, and of course the real return of football for this program. This is one of the best seasons collectively that Tennessee athletics has had in recent memory.
Right.
I'm sure if we comb all the way back through, we can find, the last time. I'm sure if we comb back, we could find some Pat Summitt, Phil Fulmer years where everything was running smoothly.
Ago,
but that's a long time ago. That's the 90s, early 2000s last time we did that. And here we are in 2023. This is the last time I can remember where all of those teams, and, listen, some were more successful than others. There's no question about that. Some were more successful than others. However, where all those teams made the tournament, all those teams won games, I believe. None of those teams were one and done, I don't think, in the tournament. All those teams advanced at least a game. Football is different.
Sure.
But, they did very well. And listen, the Vols, even though the season did not end, the way everybody wanted it to, there is no disappointment as far as, going 11-2 or whatever it was, and then winning the Orange Bowl against Clemson.
They wouldn't even let you finish the question, would you take that season? They would have grabbed your hand off.
Absolutely. Are you kidding me? For that, you beat Alabama. You beat Alabama, you beat Florida. And, first of all, when's the last time you done that in a season?
Right.
You haven't beat Alabama in a decade and a half. You beat Alabama, you beat Florida in the same season. And then, you're running into some hard luck against, South Carolina and all that. We know what happened there. But then you go to the Orange Bowl. You play Clemson, who's already won 2 natties of their own in recent memory, and you beat them with your backup quarterback, essentially. I mean, that is a highly successful year. Then you combined the baseball and the basketball. Everything seems to be solid. Now, could it be better? Are there any championships? No, there are no championships. And that is, the knock, I guess, here is there's no hardware for all of this. It's a nice season. It's a nice showing. But at some point, you want a trophy to put in the case. And, they've got that Orange Bowl trophy, which is very nice. But other than that, it's appearances and, you don't get a banner for what Tennessee baseball just did yesterday.
Got to start from somewhere, though. And we kind of went across the spectrum. 2 of the 4 of the head coaches, specifically, you're talking about baseball and football. It's fairly new head coaches. And,
that's true.
And 2, one more experienced than the other, probably Josh Heupel in terms of being a head coach. But it's a program on the rise. It's a school on the rise. And you just take a short look 10 years ago. The basketball program was in shambles with the Bruce Pearl stuff. The litany of head coaches that's kind of gone up and down. You just kind of, in baseball, it definitely wasn't what it is right now. I can only imagine for Tennessee fans, you haven't gotten the trophy, but if I had to put my money in the next 10 years, I'd imagine they're going to win something, whether that's basketball, football, or baseball. I can't imagine they're going to be trophyless for too much longer.
They're flirting with a lot of different things. Yep. Now, you mentioned you're a Vandy fan. We had the Vandy fans, and Vandy fans, you know who you are. You can call too. It's okay. 615-844-5600. 615-844-5600. You can call too. Vandy fans, are you happy with the Tennessee L last night? Are you happy? Are you good now? Some of you called and said that Tennessee was classless and, didn't play the right way. You weren't thrilled and all this other stuff. Are you okay now? Are you happy now? Is it better now? Is it better that they have caught the L? Patton, was there any joy in your Vanderbilt heart watching Tennessee go down 5-0?
I'd be lying if I didn't say I enjoyed last night just a little bit. I mean, I don't wish ill will on anybody, but I've got some buddies who have been giving it to me about Tim Corbin and company being over on West End at home for the past couple of weeks. So for Tennessee season to end. I won't say I took great joy in it, but I took probably a little bit of joy.
You took a little bit of joy. You kind of
I feel like they took a little bit of joy in us going out, us being Vanderbilt. So it's nothing hateful, but I sure as heck was not rooting for them to win it all.
Your heart smiled just a little bit when you saw it. And I'm like, yeah, that's what you get.
Yep.
Yeah, I bet you won't throat slash anymore at us.
Right?
Huh?
Yeah.
Those
how
about
baseball
that?
gods.
Those, they are a fickle bunch.
Yes.
Okay, so and again, I'm not a Vandy or Tennessee fan per se, but I'm just curious, Vandy fans out there, are you happy? Are you okay now that Tennessee has bit the dust? And they've gone down 5-0 here, and their baseball season is over. So we'll take your phone calls on the other side. 844-5600, that's 615-844-5600. We're going to be hearing from the Tennessee Vols baseball head coach and more when we come back. This is the Mcfarland Show on Nashville Sports Radio.
With 13 locations nationally, including Smyrna, Star Leasing Company is a semi-trailer one-stop shop and the perfect place to build a career as a semi-trailer mechanic. Seeking candidates with all levels of experience, Star Leasing Company has a semi-trailer technician trainee program with sign-on and quarterly bonuses and other opportunities such as $1,000 for having a yearly physical. The package also includes 401k with company match, health, dental, and vision insurance, competitive pay with weekly paychecks, and paid holidays and time off. Star Leasing Company, not your typical semi-trailer leasing company. Visit starleasing.com to learn more.
Post-COVID travel is on a surge. Many of you are traveling for fun because you've been locked up for 2 years. Listen, whether you're traveling for fun to Italy, Greece, Spain, France, or somewhere else fun in the world, or USA, now is a great time to book before the crowds hit and save. Plus, with a strong U.S. dollar, you'll get more travel bang for your buck. Right now is a smart time to make your reservations and call low-cost airlines. With one phone call, you can let us do all the work for free. We'll shop hundreds of airlines, hotels, resorts, and give you a way to save huge money on your vacation plans. And if you call right now, we'll give you a free hotel room with a qualified travel purchase. So call right now.
800-704-1662. 800-704-1662. 800-704-1662. That's 800-704-1662.
Okay, fellas, game's on the line. Let's get it right. Frank, you were closest. Was it fair or foul?
I don't know. I was distracted.
Distracted? By what?
Well, you know, it's a loud crowd. These lights are awful bright. I just won big on a Tennessee lottery instant game. And again, the lighting here, somebody ought to say something.
You've got new instant games?
Yeah.
Enough to share?
Of course.
Fair ball!
Have a ball with new instant games from the Tennessee Lottery. Game-changing fun. Please play responsibly.
With the new hot games from the Tennessee Lottery, cold hard cash is waiting to take your summer fun to the next level. And with sizzling top prizes of up to $500,000, these games could have what you need to make every day fun in the sun.
Oh yeah, this summer is going to be a scorcher. Grab the new hot games today at your nearest Tennessee Lottery retailer. But careful, they're hot. The Tennessee Lottery, game-changing fun. Please play responsibly.
Jones Z Electric is on the air saluting the brave men and women of our U.S. military. Their tireless efforts each and every day will never go unnoticed. Visit DAV.org to see how you can donate to our disabled veterans and make a difference today. This message is brought to you by Jones Z Electric. For all of your electrical needs in Nashville, don't call the rest, call the best at 931-308-3636. That's 931-308-3636. Jones Z Electric. They're professionals who care.
The battle for a sixth straight division crown is on, and the Braves are on a charge to bring it home to Atlanta.
3-1. That is jolted deep right center field and kissed that goodbye. 1-0 Braves on the homer by Olsen.
Tonight, don't miss a minute of Atlanta Braves baseball live from Citizens Bank Park as Ronald Acuna and the Braves take on the Philadelphia Phillies.
Coverage begins this afternoon at 5:25 on Nashville's Braves Station, Nashville Sports Radio.
Text the Strike and Spare studio now at 615-844-5600. You're listening to The McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
Right you are, Mr. Big Boys. Welcome back to Sports Radio 560 WNSR. I'm Justin Mcfarland. This is the Mcfarland Show, minus one Mcfarland. Darren Mcfarland is in Omaha, Nebraska. So we will carry on in his honor. In the meantime, we do have Patton Cook here with us, producer extraordinaire from the Bill King Show, from the John and Greg Show. He also does weekend shows. And Patton, honestly, I don't even know everything you do here. What do you do? What else besides producing? You have a weekend show. Is that all you do?
Got the Nashville SC thing that I do at all the home games, and then kind of during the Pred season, something involves Darren with the Preds official podcast.
Okay.
They do it in the studio. I'll kind of edit that. Just anything Adam and Ted asked me to do, I'm just like, yeah, sure.
Adam and Ted is management, everyone.
Yep.
That we just call on the air. We call them management.
Yes, management.
Whatever management asked them to do.
They, I'm just like, well, I'm only working these days. I ain't got much of a life after that.
I understand.
Of course, have a fiance, but
well, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Congratulations on that. So good luck. We can talk, but we don't want to talk about all that. Let's get to the matter of hand for Tennessee. Tennessee, the Volunteers, they did lose last night 5-0 to LSU, and they are done at the College World Series, and they are also done with their season. Let's hear from their head coach, Tony Fatalo, after last night's game.
From the dugout perspective, what were you seeing from Ackenhausen he was just unable to let you guys kind of get in a groove offensively?
His stuff has always been difficult to hit, usually where it's kind of, at least, and he's not on my team, so I'm going off a little bit of video, a little bit of research, where it's kind of gone awry for him is with command. And he had excellent command at the start of the game. And then as the game waned on a little bit, there were some mistakes he made out of the zone, whether it be hit by pitch or something like that. But then he kind of, kept his composure and regathered and did well. And then it takes two to tango. We like I said, we didn't capitalize on mistakes as well as they did. We kind of had it down. He got in on lefties and then got righties to kind of overswing a little bit. So it kind of depends on which side of the deal you're talking there. And, you can look at game plan, or you could just look at a guy who had a good opportunity and really took advantage of it. Wasn't going to be an easy day to score runs, and nothing to show for it. And for our team, a lot of times when it was tough out of the gate, we just needed one thing to happen, and then it kind of came, not necessarily like an avalanche. And who knows, maybe we get that one little moment. Things are different, but we did not.
Okay, go here to Ryan. Do you feel like you guys pressed offensively at all as the game went on?
I don't think so. I think there was more frustration at times than we've had as of late. Maybe a word I can't say up here or two like that. But that was just because guys were trying, and it was a tight game. So each pitch you could feel a little bit. But, it's certainly in pregame and at the start of the game, there wasn't moments of tension. When I referenced mistakes, it was that they really made us pay on walks and then, defensive mistakes. And even when we don't feel that bunt, everything was all good. And, we make a mistake later and you knew the guy was going to come up to the plate. I was just dying somebody would be on base for him because you knew he was going to respond. That's just what he does.
Okay, we'll go here to Jack.
Yeah, Tony, I know you mentioned yesterday's game is the game you'll choose to remember this team by, but what do you want this team to be remembered for on the grand scheme?
Kind of what you fantasize being if you claim to be a competitor or if you compete at all, is that you'll get after it no matter what. And when you get knocked down, you'll get back up. And when you get knocked down again, you'll get up even quicker, and so on and so forth. So I think it was a competitive group. They can hang their hat on the fact that, we talked about perspective. There's a variety of tradition within each program, and it takes a lot in our league to be able to brag about tradition. But for us in particular, we wanted to get to a regional, and then we wanted to have a roster that was really athletic that you guys would be excited to write about. And, COVID's whatever. And then we wanted to get here, and we didn't win any games. And then we wanted to get here again and win a game, and this group did it. And, I skipped a year, but boys that were a part of 22, give it a couple years, and you'll get yours. No national championship, but pretty special group that will be remembered by everybody in this room for a lot of stuff. Love them or hate them. I love them.
Okay, here at the end.
Tony, you said earlier the program needs to get better. I'm just curious where you see that being needed, and also, as you said, getting here, winning a game. Do you feel like you've advanced the trajectory of the program this season?
I think so. I mean, you need to get here and you need to feel it out. It doesn't mean like Coastal Carolina can't come here and win a national championship. But you got to get used to the itinerary, the media attention, the stage, and things will be passed down by guys. I mean, our guy, we had some tough dudes on that 21 team, and they kind of locked up a little bit that first game. We also faced a guy named Abbott. I wasn't too happy when I saw that video when we found out who we were going to face. But you got to learn how to deal with rankings and expectations, and then people start looking forward to playing you as opposed to, maybe sleeping on you a little bit, or, there's a variety of circumstances. And want our stadium to get bigger. We want our crowds to keep getting bigger and rowdier. We want our roster to be as competitive as anybody's. Of course, that's going to kind of come and go a little bit, but just to be able to handle things that come with shooting for a national championship every year.
Okay, back up here to Ryan.
Just wanted to get your vantage point on two plays. The first being Maui's double and holding Cal up at third, and then the following half inning on the bunt single that Zane threw into right field.
Yeah, I mean, Coach E had a difficult challenge yesterday because there's one play where you got to just send the guy and make them play catch, and the wind keeps pulling the ball in and they do it. And then he's got to send the other guy, and Zane kind of got his, gosh, love him, he kind of got his feet tangled up a little bit and made it closer than maybe it should have. And then you get another difficult decision there. And normally with 2 outs and a double, you got to, but it wasn't there. And if you look up at the Jumbotron to double check, it just wasn't there. And we got a really good hitter coming up next that had a heck of a night the first time we played these guys, and just a little bit of difficulty tonight. So what was your second question?
On the bunt, Zane threw in right field, did you like him to eat that?
Yeah, it looked like he was going foul, but I'm also standing in the dugout spitting seeds into the ground, He's out there playing in front of 25,000 or whatever we got in there, and he's trying to make a play. And who knows, it may not have rolled foul. But then, again, to try and make a play. I mean, put it in your back pocket is easy to say if you're watching from home. But these kids are running around out there pouring their hearts out onto the field. That's why it's been so damn entertaining so far, if I can say that word.
Yeah. Jack, this will be our last question for Tony.
On that note, Coach, your teams in the last 3 to 4 years have played with such emotion and passion. I think it's contagious around the sport of college baseball. These games have been so entertaining this week. Can you kind of talk about the state of college baseball and maybe where your program has kind of played a role in a lot of the emotion and passion we see this week?
I appreciate you saying that more than you know. That means a lot. I think last year's team, kind of what I was going on a tangent about or ready to go on a tangent, was they got people talking about the sport. I mean, big leaguers, all kinds of people. And again, part of it was they didn't like me or our players or anything like that, or we did some foolish things or we did some great things, but it got people talking. And we're not the only ones. I think these indoor facility, these kids train at, they're putting in more work. Media, whether it be social media or now all these games are covered. All those things are elevating the play and the amount of passion these kids pour into this thing. And I think our sport, I'm prejudiced, but I think our sport more than any other collegiate sport has more momentum and is on a greater incline than any other. And this thing here has become an absolute party in Omaha. They do a good job of hosting it, but the trajectory is not going to slow down. And this thing had a lot of star power, maybe more star power than any other one at this. You guys would know better than I. So why can't next year have even more star power?
Tony Vitale, head coach of your Tennessee Volunteers baseball team, as they finish up their season with a 5-0 loss last night to LSU at the College World Series, and that is his closing remarks there on the season. I'm Justin Mcfarland. This is the Mcfarland Show. Patton Cook here with us in for Darren. Patton, you've already stated you're a Vanderbilt fan. No secret on that. Yep. Okay. Do you think Tennessee and their brand of baseball is bad for the sport? bad for the conference? Is it just not good?
No, I don't think so. And I get the whole clutching at pearls whenever they do some of the antics.
Yeah.
The throat slash, and then of course last year you had flipping off the the entire crowd after he's running around the bases. I don't think it's bad. All you got to do is look at the numbers. And is Tennessee the only reason the numbers are up? No, but all you got to do is look at kind of what they're doing recruiting wise. Kids and families don't think they're bad for baseball because they're consistently getting guys, specifically here in the Middle Tennessee area, in the state of Tennessee.
Yes, they are.
Who about 6 or 7 years ago they were on West End. So
Yeah.
I don't think they're bad. It's not everybody's cup of tea, and that's fine. Vanderbilt baseball isn't everybody's cup of tea, and
No.
kind of the way they do it, and the almost military approach behind
Mhm.
everything. So I don't think they're bad. It's a acquired taste, I'd say, specifically for Tennessee fans. But they are certainly entertaining, and college baseball ratings would say the exact same.
And they're not the only ones who play like
No.
that, by the way. It's not just, I could see it if it was just Tennessee, but it's not just Tennessee. A lot of people would say LSU has got quite a bit of that in them that, people are dogging Tennessee about. So, they're trying to have fun. I think they're trying to bring a little edge to the sport here. Can it go a little bit too far? Sure, I can understand that point. But do I think it's something that's detrimental to college baseball? I'm not going to go that far either, Patton.
Yeah.
But I understand why people feel that way. But that's what it really is. It's just feelings. They're not, banning. They're not banning. Excuse me. They're not breaking any rules half the time. They're not doing anything out of bounds. They're just playing with an edge, and they're coming to get you. Okay, and there are Hall of Famers out there. People say Bob Gibson played with an edge as a guy who was coming to get you. So there's Bob Gibson, and then there's Greg Maddux or Tom Glavine or something. It's not the approach, it's the results, I think, that really count. And Tennessee has had really good results. Now, have they had Vanderbilt results? No, because they haven't won the thing. But are they rising? Are they a constant threat in this particular sport? I don't know how anyone says they're not at this point. They've continued to get better and better and better, and I don't know how anybody thinks next year is going to be any different. Obviously, injuries happen, kids move on, NIL deals, the whole nine. But, it would seem when he gives press conferences like that, recruits are listening.
Yeah.
Recruits are listening. Well, and, they say, maybe I want to go play for that guy.
And there are different ways of winning baseball games. There are different ways of winning any sports games. I mean, how boring would it be if everybody played the same, acted the same? I mean, that's what sports is all about. There are different avenues to do it. Tennessee happens to do it with a lot of emotion. I do think this last year's team and this year's team is different. I mean, you just don't have the characters that you had last year on this year's Tennessee team. The veterans aren't as much. It's more of a younger team this year for Tennessee. So I tend to push back on the bad for baseball part. I will say, though, people are allowed to feel how they want to feel. If they think Tennessee is not the way they want to watch a game or what they'd send their kid off to, that's fine. That's America. Don't do it. But to say it's killing the game or anything like that, I completely disagree.
Well, it ain't that America. I think there's a song out there about that. 844-5600. That's 615-844-5600. You can text us there as well. Same number, 615-844-5600. Here on the Mcfarland Shows, we put a bow on Tennessee's baseball campaign here and look into exactly what happens here. So now, season is over officially. We still have two SEC teams in the Final Four, I guess it is. Wow, and it's hard to think of it, but that's where we are. Florida and LSU are both still alive. Florida playing right now against TCU in the College World Series out there in Omaha. We talked to our two aspiring future broadcasters here yesterday, one of which is in the SEC, the other of which is in a Big Ten school. The Big Ten guy made it no secret that the SEC has got the best football school, and he's already conceded that the Big Ten is not really big into baseball, so they're probably SEC's probably a better baseball conference. So this continues, Patton, to be another banner year for the SEC in this regard, having 2 of the Final 4 teams from your conference in college baseball.
Well, and really, if the 2 SEC teams didn't go up against each other, there could be 3 of the 4.
You're right.
If Tennessee and LSU
Tennessee
didn't go
plays
against.
Oral Roberts yesterday.
And
what happens there? Yeah,
totally. And there's still a couple more teams that didn't even make it to Omaha that you would have thought had great chances. Arkansas, Vanderbilt, stuff like that. So it's no mystery. Southeastern Conference, it runs baseball, and most years it runs football as well. But clear and away in terms of baseball conference, it just means more.
And we haven't talked about bringing in Texas and Oklahoma on the baseball side. We've talked about it a lot on the football side, but we haven't talked about bringing in Texas and Oklahoma baseball.
And for softball in Oklahoma.
Softball as well. Boy.
So, buckle up, SEC.
Boy.
Yep.
Oh, boy, you opened up a can of worms there. I hadn't considered that, but yeah, you are correct, sir. All right, we're going to take a break. We'll be back with more of the Mcfarland Show on Sports Radio 560 WNSR.
Music City will be rocking June 23rd through the 25th with a different sound. The sound of NASCAR.
Start your engine!
The Ally 400 is back at Nashville Superspeedway, and this year, it's a night race. NASCAR in Nashville. It's guitars and fast cars under the lights. Visit NashvilleSuperspeedway.com to get your tickets for the triple header weekend, including the Ally 400, Tennessee Lottery 250, and the Rackley Roofing 200 today.
I switched to Boost Mobile and got a free Samsung Galaxy A23 5G phone. Want to know the best part?
It was free?
Nope.
The fact that it's on America's largest 5G networks?
Nope. It's the ding.
Oh yeah, love the ding.
Right? It's all about the ding. It's the dingarooski, the dingarone, the ring-a-ding-ding.
Unleash your power to save with Boost. Get a free Samsung Galaxy A23 5G phone when you switch. Boost Mobile. Unleash your power.
And the ding.
Limited time offer. New customers only. Available on select networks. 5G not available everywhere. One device per line. Tax excluded. Additional restrictions apply. See your local Boost Mobile store for details.
Anywhere fans go to cheer on their team, there are behind-the-scenes MVPs, ensuring everything is game day ready. We see you, Joe, fixing seats so every fan can enjoy every game. And Allie, who keeps her stadium running smoothly from the moment the first game starts to the last play of the season. At Grainger, you're our MVPs, and we're always here for you with supplies and solutions for every industry and 24/7 customer support. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I've got a unique vacation idea for you that's right here in the United States. If you're ready for a vacation that's fun and downright affordable, listen up. It's driving distance for many of you, so no planes, no airline delays, no hassles. It's Branson, Missouri, the entertainment capital of the Midwest. Live music for everyone. Branson has 3 beautiful, enormous lakes, water attractions, live shows, great food, and tons of entertainment. It's a perfect vacation for you and your family, or if you're retired and you want to have a great time. And you can stay in Branson for as low as $99 a night. Please understand, this is not a timeshare offer. It's a real vacation for as little as $99 a night. We've got a free vacation guide we want to send you right now. All you have to do is call for complete details. Get your free Branson, Missouri guide right now by calling this number.
800-413-3953. 800-413-3953. 800-413-3953. That's 800-413-3953.
Sports fans, listen to Youth Connect on Monday nights at 6 and hear me, Seagull Boys basketball coach Matt Rigsby and Darren McFarland.
Hey, listen to Youth Connect on Monday nights from 6 until 7 o'clock as we highlight high-level trainers, coaches, and players in and around Middle Tennessee. Give us a call at 615-844-5600. We live video stream all of our shows on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.
And hear me, Seagull Boys basketball coach Matt Rigsby.
And hear me, Darren McFarland, live on WNSR Nashville Sports Radio.
Five-state forecast. Your exclusive National Sports Radio, WNSR Skyscan forecast. Today's going to be partly sunny, a stray shower thunderstorm early, then more widespread showers and thunderstorms this afternoon, the high 84. Partly cloudy, a shower thunderstorm in spots tonight, the low 64. Utilizing the resources of the Weatherbug Network on National Sports Radio, I'm WNSR's meteorologist Jim Rinaldi. Sports Radio, WNSR.
Welcome back to the Strike and Spare Studios. You're listening to The McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
Sports Radio 560 WNSR. I'm Justin McFarland. This is the Mcfarland Show. Darren Mcfarland has the day off. Patton Cook in the house with us this afternoon. We're taking your phone calls. 615-844-5600. That's 615-844-5600. You can text us at that same line as well as we broadcast live from the Strike and Spare studio. We've spent the first half of the show talking about Tennessee and their loss against Louisiana State University, LSU. You don't say, no one says it that way ever.
Right.
But that's who they are. LSU, Louisiana State University, they lost to them last night, 5-0 in the College World Series, and they are done for the season. We are watching the teams that remain. Florida 2, TCU, not to be confused with any other team that begins with a T. TCU, Texas Christian University. They have 1 run. Florida has 2. They're in the top half of the 6th inning. There is 1 runner on, and TCU is not bringing in a brand new pitcher here, and he's warming up in that particular game out there in Omaha. And, of course, we'll take your calls about the College World Series if you want to talk about that as Tennessee is on their way home. One more thing that happened here over the last few minutes, and it's kind of fresh off the wire within the state of Tennessee here, and it happened over in Memphis, and I want to mention it, and that is Memphis coach Penny Hardaway. Memphis, and let me just pause there because what I'm not going to do is disrespect Penny Hardaway by just saying he's the Memphis coach. Yes, Memphis coach, former NBA All-Star, and great player,
right.
Career cut short by knee injuries, but spectacular player at Memphis, Penny Hardaway. All right, there we are. Now that we've set him in his proper setting. He has been suspended 3 games by the NCAA for recruiting violations and for violating head coach responsibility rules. An infractions panel announced on Wednesday that the violations are tied to 2 in-home visits in 2021 with the recruit from the high school class of 2023 who was referred to by the NCAA as a highly rated men's basketball prospect. So, Penny Hardaway will be suspended for 3 games this year because of the inappropriate visit that he had 2 years ago. 2 years ago. And Bill, to your credit, sir, you called and asked about Jeremy Pruitt yesterday. And if we had heard anything more about Jeremy Pruitt. And I told you, no, we had not heard anything about Jeremy Pruitt since April. It's been all quiet. And we see the speed of the NCAA and the way they move here. So we had an infraction back in 2021, and now we are just now getting to the suspension for Penny Hardaway and the Memphis Tigers coming up here in the 2023 basketball season.
Yeah, if you're Jeremy Pruitt with all the kind of litany of offenses leveled against you, I'd expect an outcome 2030, Justin, don't you think? I don't expect anything before then. That's kind of the pace. Right along with the government.
I mean, we actually might have some government results a little bit faster. We've had a couple of very high-profile situations recently happen. We're not going to get into that, but we had a couple of high-profile situations happen in regards to presidents, their family members, and other things like that. Again, listen, leave me alone, guys. I'm just saying. But some of those cases have taken a very long time to get around to here. So here we are 2 years later, and the NCAA is not the court system. They're not the government. They're doing their own investigation, and I kind of forgot they had the power to do this because for a long time, what they were doing more than anything else is looking for inappropriate payments and favors and things like that. And now with NIL, all that stuff is legal. And they kind of got out of that business, and now they're looking into things like this, inappropriate coaches' visits and things.
I mean, you just kind of look at what's going on, and not in just college basketball, college athletics. I mean, the millions of dollars exchanging between players and collectives. I'm going to use quotes there. Really just the schools who are giving them the money. Now the NCAA's, this is what they're focusing on. You don't want mom and dad getting too many visits from head coach Penny Hardaway anymore. I mean, come on.
You don't want Penny Hardaway coming to the house too often.
Yeah, I mean, you can't have too many glasses of lemonade or anything anymore. We don't want that.
We're trying to get your son to come sign with the Tigers for whatever the reason. But Penny Hardaway will miss 3 games because of inappropriate contact with a highly rated recruit 2 years ago. And here's the thing. I'm sure if we dig through, we can find who the recruit is. But who knows if the recruit was any good or not?
Right. Was it worth it, Penny?
Or even if he went to Memphis or any other school. He could be in the NBDL right now. He could be in Italy. Or he could be an NBA All-Star. I have no idea. I have no idea. But it's the pursuit. It's the pursuit of these students to try to get them to come to your school. And then you have no idea what's going to happen on the other side. And now he's going to miss 3 games, because of this inappropriate visit from 2 years ago. It's just, there's something wrong here. And I know the NCAA has a brand new president. The former governor of Massachusetts, Charlie Baker, has joined them now. I'm curious to see if he does anything to try and speed this up, because there's no way this should be okay in 2023 here to be moving at this pace when you can have, coaches quit. Basically, Pete Carroll comes to mind, quit in the middle of this investigation, but he had so long to do it.
Right.
He had so long he quit, went to Seattle and won a Super Bowl before anybody said anything about, hey, remember the Reggie Bush thing? Who? Reggie Bush? Who used to? You mean when I was in? Oh, that's been so long ago. I've forgotten all about it.
I mean, I get you want to be right about situations, but there's almost a point to where people have forgotten that some of this stuff. I mean, we don't even know who I'm trying to think back 2 years ago who would have been a highly, I can't even tell you who would have been a highly recruited player out of high school.
He would be going after this. Man, listen, it's very, very difficult to put into place here. So we'll see, what the Tigers do. I know Penny's under a little pressure there, even though he is an idol there on campus as far as his playing time there. They have not won, I don't believe, to the level I think they thought they were there at Memphis. So I know he's trying to get those players in so they can lift this program there in Memphis. I think they were really expecting big things there when he got there a few years ago. And so far, it just hasn't panned out for them.
Yeah. Well, of course, whenever you bring in James Wiseman, that was really the king's piece.
There you go.
He got in trouble for the James Wiseman situation.
Yes, he did.
It never really did pan out after that. They made the tournament last year. Good for him. I believe they won their conference. That's how they ended up getting over there. But you want to see a couple wins here and there in the NCAA tournament. We know year in, year out, kids are going to want to play for Penny Hardaway, so talent's never the issue. It's just kind of fine-tuning that team to make a run and see if he can do it this year.
Yeah, to see if they can actually get over the hump there.
Right.
To do something. They've played well. Penny Hardaway, I've just looked it up here. Penny Hardaway, since his time there in Memphis, he joined the team in 2018. They've had a winning season every single year. He's 111-52 at Memphis. That's nice.
No, yeah.
That's really nice. However, they don't have a lot in the trophy case at this point to show for that 111-52 record they've had there in Memphis. And they've won in Memphis even before Penny Hardaway got there. So it's not like he's come in there and, and done something and lifted them to new heights they've never been to before. No, they were winning plenty at Memphis before Penny Hardaway was there.
Legally or illegally.
Oh, that's a whole different conversation. It's a whole different conversation. Yep. Okay. We've filled our quota. We've talked Memphis Tigers basketball for a few minutes. We're going to take a break. So much more of the Mcfarland Show when we come back. This is Sports Radio 560 WNSR. We are Nashville Sports Radio.
There's a weekend in July where the baseball world revolves around a village in upstate New York. Baseball Hall of Fame induction weekend in Cooperstown is an unforgettable experience filled with family-friendly activities and priceless moments. Make your plans today for July 21st through the 24th for the induction of Fred McGriff and Scott Rowland as the class of 2023. Visit baseballhall.org today for the entire schedule. See you in Cooperstown, where the journey becomes legend.
Without the ones like you who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Today on Hey Culligan's Smart Home, Smarter Water Softener, here's Kevin. Hey, Culligan, can a smart water softener lift those heavy salt bags for me?
Kevin, it can.
Wait, it can?
Yep, the smart high-efficiency water softener from Culligan can alert your dealer when the salt needs to be replaced, and they'll do it for you, so your water stays soft and you stay away from lifting the bags.
I mean, I could lift them if I wanted.
No judgment here, Kevin. We're happy to do it, and we're already on the way. Let us help you out with a free in-home water test with the local Culligan water expert at Culligan.com.
Switch to Boost Mobile and get the ultra smooth, ultra powerful iPhone 11 for $49.99.
He didn't stutter.
See every angle with dual cameras,
Make it a double.
all on America's largest 5G networks.
Large and in charge, baby.
Get with the power of Boost and get the iPhone 11 for $49.99.
That's half a Benjamin.
Boost Mobile.
Unleash your power.
ID verification required. New customers only at one per line. Additional restrictions apply. See boostmobile.com for details.
Welcome back to Total Wine. What brings you in today?
Hey, Ruthie. I need help filling the ultimate beach cooler.
Well, we have the most hard seltzers and amazing canned cocktails anywhere, like High Noon, Cutwater, White Claw, Truly, Topo Chico, Jack Daniels and Coke, Neutral Vodka Seltzer, and Cayman Jack Zero Sugar Margarita in cans.
Wow. I'm going to be the king of the cooler.
And we have them at the lowest prices in town. With the lowest prices for over 30 years, you'll always find what you love and love what you find. Only at Total Wine & More. Drink responsibly, be 21.
Green Line Landscaping is on the air saluting the brave men and women of our U.S. military. Their tireless efforts each and every day will never go unnoticed. Visit DAV.org to see how you can donate to our disabled veterans and make a difference today. This message is brought to you by Green Line Landscaping. For residential and commercial landscaping and hardscaping, call the specialists today at 615-710-7067. That's 615-710-7067. Green Line Landscaping. They're professionals who care.
This is the Greg Vogue and John Burton Show.
You know, you never know who you're going to run into at Nashville. Here's
Well, you
another-
sure don't, do you, Greg? when J. Prue came in, I thought that was going to be the one, but it just didn't turn out very good. He wore the napkin over his face and stuff. And I don't know what we were doing, but it sure was a lot of fun.
Greg Vogue and News Channel 5's John Burton, WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio.
Give us a call, 615-844-5600. The Mcfarland Show with Darren and Justin.
No Darren, but there is Justin. I'm Justin McFarland. Patton Cook is here, too. He counts as well. Thank you for coming in, man. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. It's been a blast. We're only halfway
through, man. This is the McFarland Show, Sports Radio 560 WNSR. We're Nashville Sports Radio. We've been talking a lot about the Tennessee Volunteers. Of course, their college baseball season came to an end last night with a 5-0 loss to LSU. And Tennessee is ending the season. We've been asking Vol fans out there, what do you think? Are you happy? Are you satisfied? Are you disappointed? I know you're disappointed about the loss. Are you disappointed about the season? We're going to get more into that, if you'd like, coming up here in our 3 o'clock hour. Right now, as it stands, they're going to the bottom of the 6th. They're in Omaha. It is Florida 2, TCU, the Horned Frogs, 1, as they move there to the bottom half of that inning in Omaha as the game is happening right now. Let's get into Nashville SC a little bit. One thing I enjoy about Patton here is his ability to really switch sports around, jump around, and dig deep into Nashville SC in ways that I cannot. Nashville SC has had a great season so far. They really have. Got the unbeaten streak, as they call it. I'm learning the soccer terms.
A lot of lingo, I know.
It's different. The pitch and the match and the and they count the unbeaten thing. It's not necessarily just wins in a row. It's the unbeaten thing that counts for a big way. So next game is against Montreal, correct?
Yep, tonight.
Montreal is where's that game? Is that?
It is in Canada. So they're across the border as we speak. Montreal, one of the kind of mid-table clubs in the Eastern Conference for Nashville SC. A game you'd probably expect them to win tonight. And you're wanting to kind of keep pat with what FC Cincinnati's doing right now. They've got a 5-point lead on Nashville, having played a game more. So as good as Nashville has been, Cincinnati has been even better. That's been a nice little back and forth between the two clubs.
How do these teams get so good so fast? I remember doing news stories about Nashville competing with Cincinnati to get an expansion team. and now they're the two top teams in the league. If you're one of these other teams, if you're Chicago, and you've been playing in the MLS for 20 years,
right?
Aren't you looking around like, what in the world has happened? What?
It's a little bit like the NHL, Justin.
Yeah.
Of course, you just had the Golden
Knights
win it all. It's kind of like that in the MLS. The way they set this thing up, it's not like back when the Preds got their expansion team where you're bringing guys off the street almost and saying, can you play in goal for me?
Yeah.
That's not really happening anymore. You have the draft, both where you're picking on teams in the roster, but as well some of the collegiate. They have drafted well. Nashville SC has Jack Mayer, a guy they drafted in their very first expansion draft, coming out of college. He's at the center back position ever since maybe year 1 or 2 in his career. He's been that left-sided center back for them ever since. There's no mystery when you draft well and you kind of buy from the transfer market well, other than Ake Lobo, which has been a disaster, but they cut ties with him.
Okay.
It's not hard to kind of get to the top, and Nashville, just look where they are in the Eastern Conference and in all of MLS. They're up at the top.
So drafting well as, bringing in the right free agency pieces there, and some advantages that MLS is probably throwing in to some of the new teams to try to attract a fan base there. They don't have to worry about the fan base in New York or Chicago or some of these more established teams, Los Angeles. They've been out there for years, but some of the newer fan bases here, they're trying to get people to stick and stay.
Absolutely, and it's working. The game is growing, and the league's popularity is growing.
All right. We're growing, too. On to the 3 o'clock hour. It's the second hour, but 3 o'clock hour. This is Sports Radio 560 WNSR. We're Nashville Sports Radio. More of the Mcfarland Show when we come back.
.560 AM, 95.9 FM, Brentwood, Nashville, 107.9 FM, Smyrna, Nashville's first 24-hour sports station. WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio.
ABC News, I'm Rena Roy. Military search and rescue teams have detected underwater banging off the coast of Nova Scotia as they try to locate the tourist sub that vanished Sunday on a dive to see the Titanic wreckage. Carl Hartsfield of the Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution says the source of the noises is unknown.
This team has multiple sensors. They're in the area. They're sending data back expeditiously to the best in the world people to analyze that data, and then they're feeding the results of that analysis back to the unified team, and they're making decisions.
Oxygen supplies are expected to run out tomorrow morning. In Paris, at least 24 people injured from a massive blast at the Paris American Academy. Authorities say a suspected gas explosion could be to blame. They're working to determine the exact cause. Fed Chair Jerome Powell testified on Capitol Hill, telling lawmakers inflation has moderated since last year, but it's still too high. This is ABC News.
At Fisher Investments, we do things differently, and other money managers don't understand why.
Because our way works great for us.
But it may not work for your clients. That's why Fisher Investments is a fiduciary, obligated to put clients first. It's the highest standard for a financial advisor.
So, what do you provide? Cookie-cutter portfolios like the rest of us?
No cookie-cutter portfolios here. Fisher Investments tailors portfolios to meet each client's goals and needs.
But you do sell investments that earn you high commissions, right? And make commissions when you make trades for your clients?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission investment products, and we never earn commissions on trades.
So what's in it for you?
Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when our clients do better. When it comes to helping clients achieve a comfortable retirement, we're clearly different. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments, clearly different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $16. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Today is the day. Today is the day you empty your garage and closets of your old tech. Today is the day you hang up on that dial-up modem. Today is the day you tell that old GPS to get lost. Because while Staples recycles old tech for free each and every day, today, during Staples' free Tech Take Back, Rewards members get $10 in Staples Rewards when they recycle their tech. Cut the cord on your old tech and recycle it at Staples. N617. Limit 1 reward per month. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/recycling for details.
Listen, you can't handle the truth. It's about to go off. Live from the WNSR Strike and Spare studios.
Just a bit outside.
Now back to the Mcfarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
Show me the money!
Call or text now. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Call us or send us a text on the WNSR text line. 615-844-5600. 615-844-5600. Call or text. Same number.
Alrighty then.
Now, the McFarland Show with Darren and Justin.
Sports Radio 560 WNSR. We are Nashville Sports Radio. This is the McFarland Show. Darren McFarland is in Omaha, Nebraska, taking in the College World Series. He's also out there with his youth baseball team, doing a lot of work out there. Darren's always very active with them, and he's been planning this trip for a little while, so he's out there for the next few days. Yesterday, we spoke with the future broadcasters of sports radio. Alec and Jonah spent a lively hour talking about a whole bunch of things. Today, we're bringing in a very special guest, Patton Cook, who is the producer extraordinaire in the morning, but also does a lot of work on the air here on WNSR. I know he does the show on the weekends. He does a lot of work with Nashville SC. He is a local product, a Wilson County kid who went to school at Austin P. That is about as Tennessee as you can get.
Let's go P, Justin.
I already went, thank you. But I appreciate you. I'm sure you've never heard that
before they let you walk across the stage. That's like one thing you have to do before you get your diploma. You got to say it.
You got to do it.
I had to.
It's fine. It's fine. I'm sure it's a requirement up there. Yep. And I've been many times up there to Montgomery County and the good folks up there at Austin P. And they've built a brand new arena there.
Yes.
And downtown. I've not seen I've not been up there to see the finished product. Last time I was up there, it was a giant hole in the ground.
Right.
But they have built this brand new F&M Bank arena up there that is a Ford Ice Center / concert hall / place for the Cubs. Yeah, it's going to be very cool. That's getting ready to open up for their first full season coming up here in a few weeks. We've been talking about the Tennessee Volunteers in the first hour of the program. Of course, we all know they lost to LSU last night. 5-0, and their college baseball season is over. If you wanted to react to that, of course you can do that at 615-844-5600. That's 615-844-5600. You can text us at that line as well. But we're going to move on to other issues happening here. Today is June 21st. We are just over a month out from the Tennessee Titans getting into full swing with Titans training camp. Now, Darren and I talk every day. We talk sports every day. So I know what Darren thinks about various things regarding the Tennessee Titans, and he knows what I think because we, as I mentioned, we talk about this all the time. But what I don't know is what some other people think, like, let's just say lifelong Titans follower and observer Patton Cook.
Yeah.
And what he thinks about certain things going on with the Tennessee Titans. So I'm looking forward to a fresh perspective here. So Patton, first of all, what did you think of the big move they did in the offseason to get Will Levis? The fact that they kind of traded, not the farm, but they traded a little bit. They traded up in order to bring him in as their future quarterback.
Well, Will Levis was a name that you heard not really in the second round for the Titans, but there was some real discussion that taking him at 11, Will Levis. And that was something I absolutely did not want for a couple reasons. I really only wanted two quarterbacks in this draft, and that was Bryce Young, CJ Stroud. If you're going to go after a quarterback, if you're going to trade the farm away for one. I wanted it to be one of those two because I just felt like those were the two surefire things that you could get. The others, Anthony Richardson, Will Levis, Hendon Hooker, too many question marks.
Yeah,
and as far
you
as
don't
I'm
know what you're getting,
exactly. And as far as I'm concerned with this team, I haven't seen a whole lot of quarterback success as a Titans fan in my 24 years of existing. So I wanted something as sure thing as I can, and I didn't see Will Levis as that, at least in the first round. You get Peter Skoronski at 11. I'm okay with that. I wasn't as against it as many probably UT fans were overall, drafting him in the second round. Of course, you traded up a little bit for him, but I didn't see that as such a disaster because it is a bad look if he doesn't work out. It's not a great look. You wasted a second rounder when you could have grabbed numerous other positions, wide receiver mainly. But if he doesn't work out, it's fairly pain-free whenever you cut loose. You're not firing a GM because he drafted a second-round pick badly. So I'm okay with it from that aspect. Not a lot of pressure for Rand Carthon and Mike Vrabel for this to work out, but there is a little bit of pressure on Will Levis for him because he dropped for a reason, and he's got to show the Titans that 31 other teams made a mistake by letting him drop, and the Titans took that chance. We'll see if it works. I'm not against it as it would have been if they would have taken him at 11, if that makes sense.
What do you make of them not drafting a receiver and the reasons they have given? I'm sure you've heard it by now, but just in case you haven't, everyone, the reasons the Titans have given for not drafting a receiver is because they say their draft board, based on where they picked, didn't match up with a wide receiver. And they felt like their draft board dictated the best players available for them, and a wide receiver didn't fit into that plan until the 7th round. So when we had Rand Carthon on our show here, we asked him point blank about it. He told us that, the free agency acquisition period is not over. And, there could be more moves to come. To their credit, they did have DeAndre Hopkins in here for a visit. And they offered him a contract according to several media outlets. He is not signed with the Titans or anyone else, so they're still in that sweepstakes. There's a lot of people who don't want DeAndre Hopkins because he's 31 years old, and they don't want to pay him. And they say, we're not a veteran wide receiver away from succeeding anyway, so what difference does it make if you sign DeAndre Hopkins or not? It's been my belief that if you don't sign DeAndre Hopkins, that's cool with me. Are you cool with what's in the room right now? If you are, then fine. But there's a divide among the fan base. You got one half that is ready for one last hurrah here with Tannehill and Henry, and then let's get it going. Then there's another half of people who don't even want to see it again. Just blow it up and let's move on. I don't want to sign anyone else. I don't want to spend any more dead caps, space on anybody else. Forget it. Let's just blow it up and move on. Where do you fall?
I think you owe it to some of these veterans to give it one last go, because I would be stunned if we see Tannehill back for another year. Quite frankly, I'd be pretty stunned if we see Derrick Henry back for another year. I think you owe it to at least Derrick Henry. I don't think you owe Jack bleep to Ryan Tannehill as far as I'm concerned. Still not over what he did to me in Cincinnati, but that's nonetheless.
Well, he wasn't in Cincinnati.
What he did against Cincinnati, whenever that playoff game. I think you owe it to Derrick Henry to give it one last go, because if you're not, what are you doing? If you're not, trade Derrick Henry. If you're not, trade Ryan Tannehill. And if you're not, trade Kevin Byard. Because, what is 7 and 9 to those guys, Justin?
They are not going to make those moves because, well, first of all, there's a lot of Mike Vrabel is not going to be a guy that's going to mail it in for a season. He's just not. He's not going to do what Matt Eberflus and the Bears did in Chicago, where they decided, you know what, Roquan Smith, you're fantastic. Goodbye in the middle of the season. They're not going to do that for future draft picks and stockpile picks and rebuild and re-rack that way. They're just not. Mike Vrabel is not wired that way. You couldn't convince him to do that no matter what you did. And so because of that, if he's going to be your head coach, then you're going to put a competitive football team on the field. And if you put a competitive football team on the field, they're going to win games. And if they win games, that means you don't get a top 10 pick. That means you don't get to implode with the team.
Right. But that's why I think you have to go for DeAndre, and they've done that to a number. We don't know the number that he is that the Titans have given to DeAndre Hopkins. If you just kind of read the room, DeAndre not signing anything yet. He doesn't like either offer. That's why he hasn't signed anything yet. So there's still room for there to go up if you're the Titans. Do they do it? I don't know. But to that question, are they a wide receiver away from winning a Super Bowl? Probably not. But I think they're a wide receiver away from winning this division. And Greg Pogue has always said it. I think...
Listen, you haven't talked to the people in Jacksonville, have you?
Oh, I don't care about Jacksonville.
We had the guy on from Jacksonville, our good friend Tony. Tony Smith from XL 1010 in Jacksonville, and we love having Tony on. I love Tony. Tony brings great energy, very knowledgeable guy. Been following the Jaguars for a long time. Patton, he got on the airwaves with us last week and told us, me and Jonah, right to our face, that the Jacksonville Jaguars are a 12-5 football team and are getting ready, Patton, to host a divisional playoff game in Jacksonville. And he would be disappointed if they didn't at least get to the divisional round.
See, I'm old enough. I'm not 30. I'm not 40 or anything like that. But I'm old enough to know when the Jags are full of it, and they're full of it right now. You just look at it. They've never had expectations like this since I've been 2 years old, back when they were number one in the AFC and the Titans beat them twice to go to the Super Bowl. So I'm not buying into the hype just yet.
He also said they're still not over that as a fan base.
Trevor Lawrence is a really good quarterback.
Yes, he is.
No doubt about it.
Yes,
Doug
he is.
Peterson is a really good head coach.
Yes,
but
he is.
That city and that organization is bottlers when it comes to any expectations. They don't live up to the hype ever. Last year, they were the new kid on the block, weren't expected to do much, and they won the division. Everything had to go right for them to win the division, including a forward pass that was called a fumble. It was not a fumble, by the way. We saw it in the playoffs. That same play happened at Patrick Mahomes. That was an incomplete pass.
Well, at least they looked at it with Patrick. They didn't even look at this.
Of course they didn't.
I'm still waiting on the video of an umpire, a referee, somebody actually looking at the video to see an NFL official, anybody in a suit and tie with an NFL patch, anybody actually looking at the replay of that, because I have not been able to find the real time video that's out there to see how quickly they came back with that call. But I find it hard to believe that anybody reviewed that seriously.
Well, that ball was snapped before the commercial break was back. I mean, so I'm not buying that. I will say this: the Jags are clear favorites right now to win the division.
Sure.
I don't think the Titans have the offense to do it this season, and that's fine. And if that's what you're about, you're not wanting to mortgage the future. If you're the Titans, so be it. But your initial question,
yes,
do you believe the board? I don't, quite frankly. Because to me, if you're a team there's two scenarios. If you're a great team, doesn't need many holes at all, you're just drafting best available, so be it. You're doing that. But if you're a team like the Titans, where you've got holes that specifically one position, wide receiver at that point, you address tackle with Peter Skoronski.
You did.
At some point, you got to do something before the 7th round. And I love Colton Dowell. I love the OVC guy. I'm an OVC guy, not anymore. I'm an Atlantic Sun guy for the Austin Peay Governors. But
a lot of movement.
I love Colton Dowell. I hope he does well. Lebanon, big fan.
Sure,
but it's completely unfair to him to expect him to do anything more than catch a few punts and maybe run down the field on kick return every now and then.
Special teamer.
So it's unfortunate from that position, but that's the way the Titans are. One thing we do know, they're not going to give anybody a contract that's going to hurt them in the future. And for that, I respect it for Ran Carthon, because this is not a Super Bowl winning team.
Now, they're supposed to have a lot of cap room next year.
Right.
Next year is supposed to be the year where they have a lot of cap room. Unfortunately for them next year, they've also got a couple of their longtime guys who are going to be, NFL terms, long in the tooth at that point, and owed a lot of money. And that is going to bring us to a different kind of a crossroad, and a crossroad that we have been to before here in this market, where we're going to have to possibly say goodbye to some people that we really like. And I just, I'm wondering if the market is ready. Is the city ready? Is the fan base ready to say goodbye to number 22? That number 22 will not be in the backfield the following year. Not this year, he's fine. I'm talking about going forward. Have we wrapped our heads around the fact that this is the last year for Derrick Henry? And, there's a lot of belief that this will be the last year, not for him in the NFL. He'll go on and play wherever he wants. But for the Titans and for the particular brand of football they've been playing over there for the last, 5-6 years, have the fan base wrapped their head around the fact that this is it. And we've been here before. Eddie George, goodbye. Yep. Hello to the Dallas Cowboys. Chris Johnson, goodbye. He went out to Arizona or the Jets or wherever he went. He did. I don't know. Yep. He left. So we've been here before, and we bring those guys back and we honor them. But, it's been a long time since we haven't done it in this particular generation and era. There's going to be some people, some fans who have not been through this before, who are going to have to let go of some of the jerseys they've got floating around in their dresser drawer right now.
This probably is controversial. I'm ready for the Derrick Henry time to be over. Mainly because with him at running back, it limits you what you're going to do offensively. Can he get 2,000 yards any given year? Well, sure.
Yeah.
But we've seen, and y'all just look at the trends right now in Super Bowl winning teams. Mahomes. You look at Matthew Stafford. Mahomes again. Tom Brady. Big Ben. it is elite level quarterbacks that they have a run game, sure, but their best player on offense wasn't their running back in any of these teams. So I'm ready for that to move away from this exotic smash mouth BS that I've seen the past couple of years.
But that's been gone. We've moved on from exotic smash mouth.
Not really.
This is just good old fashioned smash mouth. Yeah, we're watching now. This is not even exotic.
You're right there. For the Todd Downing fans out there, if he's still in town, good riddance. So I'm ready for that to come to a close. I've enjoyed Derrick in his time here. Yeah. The 99-yard one was awesome.
Oh boy!
But it's time to move on, and it's time to maybe get in the 21st century type of offenses that just doesn't seem to come around here very often.
The top 3 rushers in the NFL this past season did not make the playoffs, and Darren and I went through this piece by piece. And when Darren and I first met in 1998, if you look at the top rushers in 1998. Jamal Anderson at that point for the Falcons, Emmitt Smith, Terrell Davis. All those teams were highly competitive Super Bowl winners or Super Bowl runner-ups. And they had bell cow running backs who ran for 16, 17, 1,800 yards, and they were dominant in the NFL. That day has since gone.
Yep.
We haven't had an MVP in this league at running back since 2006, 7. It's been a long time. It's been maybe more recent than that. I think it's been like one in the last 15 years.
Maybe Adrian Peterson.
Adrian Peterson went in 2012, somewhere in that neighborhood. Other than that, that's been it at running back. So it's a different league now. And so, are they going to finally move on and play in that league? Or are we still going to try to keep going out here with the older brand of football? That's the big question here for the Titans moving forward. We got to take a break. When we come back, more of your calls. If you'd like, 615-844-5600. That's 615-844-5600. This is The Mcfarland Show, Sports Radio 560 WNSR.
Deerview Land Specialists is on the air saluting the brave men and women of our U.S. military. Their tireless efforts each and every day will never go unnoticed. Visit DAV.org to see how you can donate to our disabled veterans and make a difference today. This message is brought to you by Deerview Land Specialists. For quality service that goes above and beyond, call the pros today at 931-607-3519. That's 931-607-3519. Deerview Land Specialists. They're professionals who care.
Shop the best deals of the summer now at Lowe's. Freshen up your home inside and out with buy one, get one 50% off on select interior and exterior paints and exterior stains via Lowe's gift card rebate. Plus, save big on select patio furniture and accessories with up to 50% off. Lowe's knows July 4th savings. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 6/28. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. More terms and restrictions apply. See Lowe's.com/rebates for details.
You don't plan for a computer virus. You don't plan to lose files. You don't plan to knock your laptop off the counter. And you don't plan for your PC to crash or your screen to freeze. But Staples has a plan. A plan for unlimited virus protection. A plan for help when you need it 24/7. Staples Total Support Plans are your tech plans for the unplanned, starting as low as $199.99. And although you didn't plan for this, right now at Staples you can also get $250 off select computers. N729 in-store only. See associate for details.
Greg Pogue back once again to tell you about Bongo Java, Nashville's oldest and most celebrated coffee company, located in the Omni Nashville Hotel. Bongo Java's expert baristas take pride in their trade, serving up fresh, locally roasted coffee, classic handcrafted espresso, drinks, and fresh baked goods all day long. Start your day with an American or cold brew, or for a taste of Music City, grab a West End latte flavored with local honey and cinnamon, a Breakfast Club biscuit, or an everything all-at-once sandwich will fill you up and let you focus on your day. Bongo Java also has you covered for lunch with tasty deli sandwiches served on fresh-baked ciabatta bread like the I'll Have What She's Having or the Godfather. Bongo Java, open 7 days a week from 6 a.m. to 3 p.m. Enjoy a fresh cup of Bongo Java in the heart of Music City. Bongo Java is the Nashville way to start the day. Bongo Java in the Omni Nashville Hotel, downtown 5th Avenue, Music City.
Do you hear that? Asthma triggers are everywhere, from dust mites, pet dander, and pollen, to smog and smoke. An asthma attack can strike anywhere, anytime. Be prepared with quick-acting Primatene Mist. Clinically proven to open airways quickly. It's the #1 FDA-approved asthma inhaler available over the counter. Primatene Mist. Breathe easy again. Use as directed.
Sponsored by Armstrong Pharmaceutical.
It's a Bill King Show.
Lake Norman Buckeye. Bill, will Saban actually coach that 24 quarterback? At some point, he's got to hang it up. Nothing lasts forever. I want to repeat, Nick Saban is doing his favorite thing right now. He's not trying to get to a moment in life to where he can go sit on the beach.
Weekday mornings beginning at 6 on Sports Radio 560 on 95.9 FM.
Text the Strike and Spare studio now at 615-844-5600. You're listening to The Mcfarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
Sports Radio 560 WNSR. This is Nashville Sports Radio. I was just informed by our producer, Jonah, that this bumper music is brought to us by Harry Styles. I had no idea. I didn't know. You could have given me 1,000 guesses. I would have never guessed the song was by Harry Styles. Do we know what the song is called, Jonah? What's the name of the song? Do we know?
I know the song. I think it might be.
You don't know. It's okay. It's okay. If you don't know, it's fine.
Yeah,
it's fine. It's fine. Thank you, John. Appreciate it. He doesn't.
Harry Styles. The songs are all the same. I mean, just throw any love song out
they
there.
Are not the same. They are not the same. Have you ever heard Kiwi from his self-titled album?
Oh boy,
no.
Kiwi is an amazing rock song in our era, and it's just beautiful.
It's a rock song?
Yeah, it's a beautiful rock song.
Okay. I didn't know we could have beautiful rock songs.
Well, yes, you can. You can have beautiful rock songs.
Okay.
Dream On by Aerosmith. That's a beautiful rock song. You see? You can have rock ballads. See, there's nothing wrong with that. I just didn't know the guy who made that last song we just heard was capable of making a rock song, because was that a rock song we just heard?
That was not a rock song.
That was a pop song, right?
It kind of sounds like
pop song.
It sounded kind of poppy to me.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like music for a sushi restaurant.
Boy, you got an interesting imagination there. Okay,
no.
You just put that song right in the sushi restaurant. No.
The song is called "Music for a Sushi Restaurant."
Oh, is that what it's called?
Music for a sushi restaurant. Music for a sushi restaurant.
The song is called "Music for a Sushi Restaurant."
I believe he has a song on that album called "Music for a Sushi Restaurant."
Okay, all right then.
Now we know.
Now I know, man. And I had a cartoon when I was a kid that said knowing was half the battle. That was the moral of every episode of G.I. Joe.
That was my high school kind of anthem. Knowing is half the battle.
Knowing is half the battle. That is the idea. All right, 615-844-5600. We've taken our commercial break there with Harry Styles. We appreciate the education. 615-844-5600. You learned something I didn't know. I didn't know anything about that. We're broadcasting live from the Strike and Spare studios here. Of course, we'll take your phone calls. We've been talking about the Tennessee Titans. We've been talking with our good friend Patton Cook, who is here with us in for Darren today. And I have an important question here for Patton. And Patton, because you are Mr. Middle Tennessee, because you grew up in Wilson County, because you went to Austin Peay University, I've got a question for you, good sir, and that is we have never seen a championship here in Nashville, Patton, ever.
Yep.
We've gotten close a couple times, but we've never actually brought home the hardware. Who is closer to bringing it home? Who is closer to having that ultimate parade down Broadway?
Zero doubt about it. It's Nashville SC, Justin.
Nashville SC.
They have got right now the best player in the league, something the Titans, the Preds do not have, is an MVP type of player, and that's what they've got in Hani Mukhtar, right now second in the Eastern Conference, second overall points-wise in the MLS. To me, it's them, and it's weird because they're the youngest of the three professional sports teams, but to me, they're the closest right now. If you would have asked me 2 or 3 years ago, I probably would have said the Titans, but that ship has sailed.
Now, here's my question, and I really don't know the answer to this, and I don't think anybody really does. Everybody's going to guess at this, and that's fine. But I was here for the Titans Super Bowl run. I was here for the Preds run to the Cup.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw the city come alive with imagination and gusto and spirit for those two efforts. I wonder, and not to say Nashville SC is not a part of the community. They very much are. I am not going to, besmirch them. I am just trying to figure out, would it rise if they were able to make that run all the way to a championship with the level of fandom and fever in this town rise to that same level as it has for the Titans and Predators during their run?
It's hard to
say. Or would it
say,
be different?
Yeah, it's hard to say yes to that just because the kind of newness of it. And as much as Nashville's very diversified in the community.
Well, the Titans were new.
Totally. Good point. But I think with that, it's football.
Yeah.
This is the South. This is Nashville. This is Tennessee. Football is king. And I'm not sure you can say that necessarily. I do think, though, the support, you see it each and every game. It's more and more after each win.
That much is true.
After each Hani Mukhtar goal, there continued more and more excitement around this team.
Yes.
It's hard to say it would get to that Preds level where you're packing Broadway for watch parties. I don't think they could get to that point, but I don't see why you couldn't get more and more excitement as they start to build it. You're seeing it already.
You're definitely seeing it. I'm still trying to figure out, as again, someone who is, my family moved here in 1991. Okay. So I was here for the whole thing.
Yeah.
I wonder, I'm still trying to place where Nashville SC's place is in our sports community. And I don't know. I really don't. And I'm being fair to them.
Yeah.
I'm just unsure where they are in people's hearts and minds right now compared to the Titans and Predators. And granted, they haven't been here as long, and I still think people are still trying to figure out, are they a major league team in that same way that the Preds and the Titans are? It's the MLS. Yes, we respect the MLS, but we also watch soccer in Europe on television, and we know it's not them. So they're not going to beat Manchester United, in the championship here, no matter what happens. So if they don't beat them, is it the same thing? And, what is it that we're and I know the fans who are into it know the difference, and I know they do. But for the other fans, those of us outside kind of looking in, who would get excited if Nashville SC made that kind of a run. But I'm not sure, to be honest with you, Patton, that we know what we're looking at when we see that.
No, I think that's fair, and I think for Nashville SC, the first 3 or 4 or so years, the fans you have right now are always going to be fans because it's soccer, and it's something this city has never had until it got this professional sports team. And there are a couple close teams around. You've got Atlanta, you've got Sporting KC and Kansas City, a few others in there. But they were always going to be fans. I think the best Nashville SC can do, and this goes for soccer, I think, in this town is to have people. It's never going to be number one on 90% of sports fans in the city. It's never going to top the Titans. It's never going to top the Preds because hockey and football in this city, it's just got more roots in it. And it's going to be hard to really top those. But for fans of both Titans and Preds like myself, you want to get in that conversation. Fans who are season ticket members to the Preds and the Titans, and that's what they put their hard money into, you want to get a piece of that pie. You want to, even if they don't buy tickets to every single game and season tickets, you want to have them coming out to games every other game, because that's one thing I Preds fans and Preds tickets specifically, it's expensive to go to Bridgestone Arena and watch the Preds. It's expensive to go and watch a Titans game.
And it's going to get more expensive
as the stadium it continues to be erected. But for Nashville SC, I think they've got that price point exactly right. Food is fairly cheap in there. Parking is an issue, but ticketing, I mean, you can get in there for $20.
Okay.
Justin, and it's a good time. They have a good show. The guitars before, the shows after, and Honey Mukhtar scoring goals. That's not a bad Saturday night.
Okay. Well, again, it's going to be interesting to watch as it continues to develop, as they continue to develop. I know, and we have talked to Sean Henry, the president of the Nashville Predators, right here on this program about this. I've asked him point blank about the quiet rivalry that they all have about bringing a championship here first, because they're all very aware that no one's done it.
Right.
They're all very aware that the trophy case is empty. They are very aware that there's a pretty sizable prize for the first franchise who's able to bring a championship here. And that there just will be. I mean, we were watching it in Denver. The Nuggets have finally won an NBA title. It took them 47 years. In the meantime, the Denver Broncos have gone to multiple Super Bowls. They've won multiple Super Bowls. They're the number one team in town there in Denver. And you can't, no matter what, the Nuggets can three-peat and never be what the Broncos are to the people of Denver. They just don't have it. They don't have the legacy. They don't have the memories. There are people in this town, Pat, and you know this as well, and I met these folks too, who are fans of the Tennessee Titans because of what Steve McNair and Eddie George did 20 years ago. That's where the fandom started. So those memories start right there, and they continue to grow. And so I just wonder, if Honey Mukhtar can come through and make that kind of a run,
totally,
he can turn his name from just a really great player to legendary status here for generations to come. But you need that kind of run first.
And as sad as it is for me, my prime kind of 8 to kind of 14 range for the Titans, that was Jake Locker. That was Rusty Smith. That was Dexter McCluster. You don't want that anymore, because it almost killed this team, Justin. You've been here as long as me. You saw how bad it got kind of during that stretch. Yeah. So, I mean, the Titans, I know we're going back to the Titans. We
Charlie
about,
Whitehurst.
Oh, gosh. Yeah. But Steve McNair and Eddie George, they got to be careful on how this goes, because, I mean, kids now, they're growing up Patrick Mahomes fans, Joe Burrow fans. I mean, you want to be a quarterback in this league. So, yeah.
No, but you're bringing up an excellent point. Now, let me introduce something new to the conversation here. And by the way, if you want to join in, you can do so. We've got a little time. 615-844-5600. That's 615-844-5600. That's our phone number. We're talking Nashville sports is what we're doing here. We can get deep into the weeds on the Titans, but we've got all summer to do that. Right. We're two Nashville guys essentially here, been here a long time, been here for decades, remember things, and kind of talking about, where we are as a sports, as a city here, and a professional sports city growing up. We've got a young man here in the studio with us who claims Detroit. Alec here. Alec, as a Detroit fan, and even though he's a young man, he's got legacy with him. He's got the Bad Boy Pistons, okay? He's got Barry Sanders. He's got, the Scotty Bowman and the Red Wings, okay? He's got Sparky Anderson and the Tigers, okay? He's got a lot of stuff going on in his sports lineage as a Tigers or as a Detroit fan in general. Our lineage here in Tennessee as a professional, now, true, we can talk about college and all that kind of great stuff, okay? But as a professional sports city, we're only about 25 years old.
Mm-hmm.
We have not won a championship yet. We've gotten 2 conference championships, essentially. One AFC title, another Western Conference title, but we haven't gotten all the way to the gold. And now we're talking about bringing in a baseball team into this mix. And there was a brand new survey put out, for whatever it's worth, that, they asked 100 baseball players, current baseball players, what city would you want to go to play Major League Baseball? Would you want to go to Nashville? Would you want to go to Charlotte? Would you want to go to Portland? Would you want to go to Austin, Texas? And Nashville won far and away. Now, does that mean Nashville's going to get a Major League Baseball team? No. Darren believes that it's a done deal, that as soon as they make the announcement that Nashville, that they're going to expand, that Nashville is a shoo-in, that he believes that the MLB wants to be here and wants to be a part of this, and he believes they're going to do everything they can to get here. My belief is, well, you can want it. The problem is you got to find an owner.
Yeah.
And on the other side of that, you got to compete against these other cities. These other cities are not going to just roll over just because Nashville decides they want a team. Right. So Charlotte has been wanting a team for a while. Portland has been wanting a team for a good while. I've heard about Austin, Texas possibly wanting a team. Where do you fall on baseball, professional baseball, not minor league? I know Mike and Melrose. I got you, my man. The Nashville Sounds have been with us for many years. We got you. And his father tried to bring a team here. We understand. But where are you with the possibility of MLB coming to Nashville at some point?
You mentioned the 2 kind of stumbling blocks, and one of them is an owner. I mean, it's all good having Carrie Underwood on these groups, but she's not a billionaire.
No.
She's not going to bring a team here.
No.
It's good to have her name behind it, brings popularity and everything. You just haven't heard that billionaire kind of product behind it just yet. In the second one, Justin, and it's something the Titans are dealing with, Major League Baseball is not going to come here unless you're going to build a stadium. And we know how hard tooth and nail right now it took for the Titans to end up getting approved for a stadium.
Yeah.
Is the taxpayer, is the Metro, are they going to just okay another $1 billion stadium
No,
funding?
they've made it very clear they're not going to do that.
So, I mean, that's the major stumbling blocks. Those 2 right there, if you don't have it, you can want and hope and have Carrie Underwood say Nashville would be good for baseball, but it won't happen.
Yes, Jonah.
Yeah, one of the things, if you go to the Nashville Stars site, which is the team that wants to bring the baseball to Nashville, they have Don Mattingly as the baseball advisor.
Yeah.
So they do have some baseball minds.
No, this is not about, okay, let me just make this clear. This is not about whether or not they have baseball people.
Right.
They've got tons of baseball people running it. They've got Hall of Fame. Lee Smith. Lee Smith is a Hall of Famer. They got Hall of Fame people. I think he's in the Hall of Fame. I'm not sure. He might be. He
Sounds
should
good
be.
to me.
He should be.
Yep.
They've got Hall of Fame people. They've got serious people on that staff already. They had Tony La Russa as a part of the staff. They've already had baseball people. They got celebrities. They got a former United States Attorney General on their staff of advisors, okay? They've got plenty of people. Does Mr. Mattingly have $1 billion?
I don't know his bankroll.
Okay,
No.
okay.
He does not.
The answer to that is no.
No, the answer is no.
The answer is no.
Yeah.
So this is not about expertise. and I'm sorry, John. I'm not trying to crash on you, but it's. I'm bringing that up because I hear this a lot. Well, they've got X, Y, and Z on their roster, so therefore they must be. No. There's a lot of former Major League Baseball players and well-connected people in and around this community all the time. It is not about who they know. Yes, they know how to reach the Major League Baseball office. The question is, can they get the funding together to actually put a stadium up that Major League Baseball is going to want to come to? Where does that land come from? Who's the billionaire? The Nashville SC, they came here. Who got them here? It wasn't Mr. Mattingly. They didn't find a former MLS player to get behind it. They had a billionaire,
Mr. Ingram,
named Mr. Ingram, that got them and the Ingram family that were able to bring that team here. Bud Adams brought the Tennessee Titans here to Nashville. Not a billionaire at the time, but, owner of a team. They need those kind of people. And without those kind of people, it's and not to say they're not out there, but you got to find one, recruit one, and hope that he's going to want to come, he or she is going to want to come and invest that kind of money and opportunity here in Nashville. Yeah. And so far, that person hasn't been identified, at least not yet. We got to take a break. More of the McFarland Show when we come back. This is Sports Radio 560 WNSR. We're Nashville Sports Radio.
Hey, Tennessee, we're Zen Sports, the new sportsbook in town. We listen to your feedback on our competitors, so we designed Zen Sports just the way you wish. Set favorites, search and sort bets, and earn real cash rewards, saving you time and money with every bet you make. Find the bets you want, not those distracting bets that seem too good to be true, but rarely are. Best of all, withdraw your winnings in under 24 hours, so take control of your bets, because with Zen Sports, betting just got better. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-889-9789. Terms and conditions apply. Must be 21 and up and in Tennessee to bet.
Nashville, start your engines. The Big Machine Music City Grand Prix is coming to the streets of downtown Nashville. Experience 3 days of racing, music, family fun zone, food trucks, and more. The Big Machine Music City Grand Prix is August 4th through August 6th. From stadium super trucks flying through the air to open wheel IndyCar racing that turns right. The Big Machine Music City Grand Prix has something for every race fan. There's music all day, every day. And don't miss the Friday and Saturday night concert under the stars. And they have rides for the kids provided by Wesley Mortgage. The streets of Music City come alive August 4th through August 6th. The Big Machine Music City Grand Prix. Grab your tickets before they're gone and log on to MusicCityGP.com. The Big Machine Music City Grand Prix. It's more than a race. It's a festival.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-898-6155 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-898-6155. That's 800-898-6155. What do you have to lose? Call 800-898-6155. Again, 800-898-6155.
All 5 Middle Tennessee locations of Sam's Place and Sam's Sports Grill are open for dine-in service plus takeout and curbside pickup as well. That's right. You can dine in or out at our locations in Belmead, Murfreesboro, Hendersonville, Old Hickory, and our newest location at Nippers Corner. Happy hours Monday through Friday from 3 to 7 featuring half-price beer. From scratch kitchen items made fresh daily, Sam's Place and Sam's Sports Grill are the best eats and the best seats for every game. For more information, visit samsportsgrill.com.
It's the McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
Kurt Anderson is on the line with us. What do we have here in Nashville, Tennessee, in Peter Skoronski?
You got a throwback player. Say less, do more type of guy. Big Ten Offensive Lineman of the Year this year. Physical. He wants to run the damn football. He's a great pass protector. He's like kind of the all-American kid. Really smart.
The McFarland Show with Darren and Justin on Nashville Sports Radio WNSR.
The McFarland Show, broadcasting live in Rutherford County on 107.9 FM.
Sports Radio 560 WNSR. It's the McFarland Show. I'm Justin McFarland, Darren McFarland, out in Omaha, Nebraska. You know who else is in Omaha, Nebraska? The Florida Gators. You know who's there with them? The TCU Horned Frogs. They are in the middle of a baseball game right now out there in Omaha.
2-2, tied up.
2-2, all right? Tie game in the top half of the ninth. Runner on second for the Florida Gators as they bring their next batter to the box here. We'll keep you up to date see if this game goes final maybe before we get out of here in about 15 minutes or so. We've been talking about all kinds of things, and we've enjoyed it as well. 615-844-5600. That's 615-844-5600. We have been jumping around quite literally to all kinds of things. We've talked Nashville SC. We've talked Memphis Tiger basketball in here. We've talked about the Tennessee Titans. We've talked a little bit about the Nashville SC and the possibility of bringing in Major League Baseball to town, and how they would find a billionaire to try and make that work as the rumors continue to fly about how that would go. Because listen, and that's all they are right now, everybody. They're rumors. They're rumors. Okay? We don't know. There's been no announcement. There is no expansion team right now. It doesn't exist. There's rumors that there will be one eventually, or two, and then they bring in two. But there's no expansion team right now. So, it's all still up in the air, quite literally. We've also been talking about championships here, and who has the opportunity to bring a championship here first, and how well would it be received, and all that kind of great thing. So we've been really just explored the full gambit here, and I've enjoyed the time here with Patton Cook as we've gone over a lot of this. Patton, we talked quite a bit about where Nashville SC fits in this community here, and compared to, say, the Titans or the Predators here. But I wonder, since you're a Vanderbilt fan, and we have a lot of Vandy fans listening, do you believe this new expansion that they're doing over there with the stadiums, because it's plural, it's not just one. They're doing a couple of different projects over there. What are they trying to do? Is this their attempt to try to stay relevant here, or do they feel behind and pressed? And my thing about it is, why not knock it down and start over? If you go do it, I'm with you there. Then let's do it. If we go do it, because we're kind of doing it here. But what you're telling me is, by replacing the end zone, is that you're really not going to do it. That you're just gonna kind of do it. And so, as a fan here, how do you feel about that?
I'm with you. The stadium, to me, is too far gone. And I mean, it's all well and good putting a new piece over in the end zone. You need a whole new piece, a whole new stadium, quite frankly. I've got to a point now where I'm not going anymore to football games, at least, because one, and this is no offense to Clark Lee, he's doing the best he can. The product isn't that good, and the experience isn't that good either in the stadium.
The product is, Patton, come on now. Be fair to the good folks over at Vanderbilt. You know, you're not just an average fan. You understand fully the challenges that they face over there in that particular conference, being the school that they are. You understand that. You also understand that,
some of that is their own fault, though, Justin.
Well, do they put restrictions on themselves in a way? Yeah, that can be argued for sure. However, we also know that they've had very limited success no matter who they have brought in. And just to tell the truth, the last 10 to 15 years of Vanderbilt football has been some of the most success that we've ever seen of Vanderbilt football under the likes of James Franklin and Derek Mason. And now Clark Lee is, it seems like they're on the rise. They won some games last year. I don't think a lot of people expected them to win. So I think they're developed into sort of a sneaky team here. But we also know their ceiling is, 6 games.
Right. No, yeah, you're right. Their ceiling isn't what Georgia is. But
no.
To me, I think that ceiling, why can't it not be what, I don't know, you look around, why can't it be
who do you want to be?
Why can't it be Cincinnati? I know you're in a different conference, but why can't you win 8 games at least every year? I mean, it's...
Because you're playing the SEC and you're Vanderbilt. That's why. Because you're not going to be able to get the same players. Now, could you? Now, listen. Let's not kid ourselves. Vanderbilt's got plenty of money. If Vanderbilt wanted to build the most state-of-the-art stadium you've ever seen, then they can do it.
Right.
Okay? And they wouldn't need a fundraiser either. They can just do it. But they're not doing it that way. They've never done it that way. So it's not like they're doing something uncharacteristic of themselves.
Right.
They're being who they've been.
Well, in these upgrades, renovations, the stadiums are nice, but I mean, they're too far gone at this point. I mean, you look around the SEC at all the facilities. I mean, they're 10 to 15 years behind. I mean, that stadium, Greg Pogue, who I do a show with in the afternoons, he did a high school football championship game
Yeah.
in the 90s.
Yeah.
There was a video that popped up of him doing the pregame show. I looked out at that stadium. There was not one improvement in that stadium than what it was in the 80s.
Well, we know what Florida, or how at least one coach of Florida felt about the facilities there.
It looked the exact same, and that's unacceptable for Vanderbilt. So they're doing what they can. They being Clark Lee, I'm not giving the administration any props over there. They should have done this 15, 20 years ago. Thank you, Candace Story Lee, for doing what should be done right now. But to me, it's almost too far gone. And for Clark Lee, I hope he can win 6 to 7 games. But if that's the floor, I mean, that's awfully hard to get excited for, winning 6 games every year.
Got to take a break. We'll be back to wrap up this edition of the Mcfarland Show. This is Sports Radio 560 WNSR, we're Nashville Sports Radio.
Attention high school sports fans, are you an armchair official? You know, the parent or fan who constantly yells at the referees and loves to let everyone know just how bad you think they are. Well, if you think you could do better, then get in the game and prove it. It's time for you to suit up and make the calls where they actually count. Every sport in Tennessee needs more officials. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Located at 5410 Murfreesboro Road in the heart of Laverne, City Slickers is one-stop shopping for all your liquor, beer, and wine needs and has been a multiple winner annually in the Best of Rutherford County voting for Best Liquor Store and Top Wine Shop. Featuring the lowest prices, the best customer service with unsurpassed knowledge, City Slickers offers the largest craft beer selection in Rutherford and southeastern Davidson counties and has beer on tap at its Growler filling station. City Slickers also sells mixers, sodas, snacks, tobacco products, and the Tennessee Lottery, and can place special orders and assist with all your events and even wedding planning. Make sure you follow City Slickers on all their social media or just give them a call at 615-280-7469. That's 615-280-7469. Located in the heart of Laverne, City Slickers.
Have you ever met a single person in your life that enjoys paying taxes? No, no one does. If you can't sleep at night because you have a huge problem with the IRS, I've got some free advice for you. This service is strictly limited to individuals that owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes. And if you qualify, we can guarantee that you won't be writing a big fat check to the IRS, or our services cost you nothing. The first 100 people that call today will get a free tax consultation worth $500. Stop worrying about your IRS problem. We can help you, we promise. Call the tax doctor right now. I mean right now, to learn more.
800-649-0142. 800-649-0142. 800-649-0142. That's 800-649-0142.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $16. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
The Jim Rome Show.
I get a lot of vacation. I understand that. However, I don't take a lot of sick days. These things are not one and the same. That was not like I worked 8 straight days or I worked Super Bowl Sunday. I think I'll give myself a day off. I earned it. Hey, and by the way, I could, because I have those days. I pride myself in not taking sick days. I hate that. We usually grind through it. But honestly, it was the right thing. In that case, it was the right thing.
The Jim Rome Show. Weekdays 11 to 2 on Nashville's Sports Radio.
You're listening to The Mcfarland Show live on WNSR Nashville Sports Radio.
Thank you, Mr. Big Voice Guy, for bringing us back in. Sports Radio 560 WNSR. Update from Omaha. The Florida Gators, they have gone on top of TCU. 3-2 is the score, and they are in the bottom of the ninth. They just got a strikeout, so they're 2 outs away from advancing here in the College Baseball World Series. They were able to punch across a run there in the top half of the ninth, and now, again, they lead 3-2 as they've got 2 outs to go in that ball game. Of course, Tennessee's season is over. They lost 5-0 last night to LSU. Still a lot more action to come out there from Omaha, I'm sure. As a matter of fact, we got the nightcap, right? Wake Forest and LSU will do battle for part 2 of their duel out there in Omaha coming up a little bit later. Darren is out there in Omaha. Patton Cook has been in here with us. And Patton, it's been fun, man. I mean, we've run through a lot of lot of territory here very quickly, sir.
I got to say, my bingo card did not have Memphis University basketball on it. But
yes.
I'm happy we checked it off.
But we got there.
We got there.
We got
did
there.
it.
We got into it, and we sure did. You know, you can't say we didn't get into it. We most certainly did. Of course, tomorrow's program should be an abbreviated one. We've got Atlanta Braves baseball that is starting tomorrow. Of course, WNSR, your home for your Atlanta Braves here as the Braves continue their first place run through the through the NL East here as they get set to host the Philadelphia Phillies later today. But coming up tomorrow, they've got the Phillies' first pitches at 12:05. Then on Friday, they got to go to Cincinnati.
Eesh.
Cincinnati and the Reds, they've won 11 games in a row and now sitting in first place in the NL Central. It is insane what's going on there with the Cincinnati Reds.
I mean, a month ago, the Braves were looking at that, probably licking their lips. They're saying, we can't get to the Reds fast enough.
Nice, easy weekend up there in Cincinnati. Go up there and enjoy some chili and, have a good time. Now you got to go take care of business against the Reds. They go on the road against them coming up here on Friday. But again, the Mcfarland Show normally starts at 2 o'clock. We will follow Braves baseball tomorrow afternoon here on WNSR. Whenever the Braves get finished, we will be up and at 'em. Is it out number 3 in Omaha?
Wow, what a catch.
Is. Out number 3 in Omaha. Florida is fired up as they get the win over TCU as they will advance here in the College World Series. And then we'll see what happens from here. The final out was a nice play, dead center field. Center fielder caught the ball, hit the wall, and came home with the ball. And that is out number 3, Florida, with a 3-2 win over TCU. I will say this, Patton. I'm a little bit surprised. There it is. There's our... I was looking for something, then I found it. Okay, thank you. I'm sorry. I misplaced something. I found it. I'm surprised these games aren't a little bit more high scoring. The pitching has been excellent here in this College World Series.
Well, look at the amount of home runs we were seeing in the supers and in the regionals.
Yeah.
We haven't seen it in Omaha.
No. We have not had any of the gaudy scores, 13-10 or something. None of that has happened. These are all very pedestrian scores, a 3-2 final here. Of course, Patton producing tomorrow morning on the weekends as well. You can catch him and Ray. We can thank you for listening to the Mcfarland Show. We'll be back following Braves baseball tomorrow afternoon, starting, whenever the Braves get out number 3.
This is going to end up worse than the peanut butter challenge. I was sick for 4 days. No, this is going to terribly awry. Do you want to take a small break and then maybe we assess the vitals?
I kind of want to just drink a little water and maybe we can just start running out of the office.
Honestly. Well, real talk. Real talk. Can we get some makeup? You look great. Billy on Marky and Free on CBS Sports Radio.
Immortality, that's what that was. Ate a jar of jelly, will be immortal forever. Welcome to Maggie.